Clara had always wanted a garden. Not just a row of potted herbs on the fire escape. A real garden. Something that bloomed and changed and needed tending. It was a dream she'd murmured more than once, usually when they visited upstate friends or passed the rare city lot that wasn't covered in concrete. So, on their 20th wedding anniversary, Daniel surprised her. He didn't buy land. New York wouldn't allow such things easily, but he secured a small community plot in the East Village. It took months of waiting, favors from former customers at the bookstore, and one slightly illegal bribe involving antique poetry volumes. When Clara saw the plot, she laughed so hard she cried. It was just a patch of dirt behind a chain-link fence, but to her, it was Eden. They planted lavender, tomatoes, and sunflowers. Daniel didn't know much about gardening, but he learned mostly by watching her. Clara moved through soil like it was an old friend. Her hands always dirty, her eyes always bright. It became their Sunday ritual. Coffee in thermoses, gloves in their back pockets, Clara humming old jazz tunes while Daniel weeded like a man discovering magic. And as things bloomed, so did their quiet, late-life joy. In their 60s, time began to shift. Not cruelly, just honestly. Daniel's memory, once sharp and dependable, began to flicker. Started subtly. Misplacing his glasses. Forgetting the name of an author he loved. Repeating questions he'd asked the day before. Clara noticed, but she didn't panic. Not yet. But the moment that broke her was small and ordinary. They were in the kitchen. Daniel was chopping carrots while she prepared soup. He looked up at her, halfway through a sentence, and said, "Have we met before?" The silence afterward was so loud, it pressed against her chest like a weight. Daniel blinked, shook his head, and chuckled, embarrassed. "I meant, have we met, like in the beginning? I remember seeing you in the rain. I remember everything." But his voice trembled. They saw a doctor the next week. Early onset dementia, possibly genetic. Clara wanted to rage, to fight, to scream into the sky, but she didn't. Instead, she went home, took down all the photographs she'd hidden in boxes over the years, and covered their apartment walls. Every wall became a memory map. Vacations, quiet days, left, vain. When Daniel began to forget details, Clara reminded him with stories. And when he forgot entire days, she told him the truth gently, and then read him his own novel, The Light in the Window, until the memories came back in flickers, soft and brief as candlelight. Their niece, Elena, moved into the city after college. She was tall like Clara, with Daniel's quiet eyes. On weekends, she visited them, asking about the past, listening to stories like they were treasure. One day, Clara handed her Daniel's second, unpublished manuscript. It had been sitting on their shelf for years, a collection of short stories, all written during the quiet hours of their life together. "I think he wrote this for the next reader," Clara said. Elena published it posthumously a few years later, under Daniel's name. The collection was titled Still Choosing. It became a quiet classic, beloved by readers for its tenderness. Clara never remarried. She didn't need to. She stayed in the apartment, kept the garden, still wrote Clara-style sticky notes to herself on the mirror. "Today, remember the rain, today, remember the light." She grew old with grace, wild-haired, laugh-lined, always wearing mismatched socks. And whenever it rained, she danced. On the 50th anniversary of the bookstore's opening, long since passed on to new owners, Clara was invited back for a celebration. There was cake and old friends and copies of The Light in the Window displayed in the front. Someone had drawn a sketch of her in the rain, smiling, arms open to the sky. A little girl tugged her sleeve during the event. "Are you the lady from the book?" she asked. Clara nodded. "One of them. Did it really happen? All that love?" Clara looked out the store window, where soft drops of rain had just begun to fall on the street. She smiled. "Every word. If you walk into that bookstore today, you'll still find a signed copy of The Light in the Window on a high shelf. Inside the front cover is a handwritten note. Love is not just about finding each other once. It's choosing each other over and over, even when the page turns and the words get harder to remember." Lara. And if you're lucky, when the rain starts falling outside, you might spot a woman with silver hair and joyful eyes spinning slowly on the sidewalk, arms wide, face tilted toward the sky, still dancing.